I'm just coming back from the gym. Now, it's been a little while since I worked out, so I took it slow, but I managed to pull something and it really hurt. That sucks. Yep, I messed up my beloved M5. In essence, I pulled into this great parking spot. It's kind of what you dream of as a car enthusiast. It had a wall on one side and had retaining barriers on the other, so no one could park next to me. I even took pictures of this. I was so excited to share it on Instagram because it was such a great parking spot. When I pulled in, I really didn't notice anything that made any noise. I just pulled in normally and went and worked out at the gym. I came back and got in the car, and that's when I backed up, and all of a sudden, crunch, snap. Yep, I managed to cause some pretty serious damage. In essence, the parking bollard was very tall. I didn't realize this. I had sandwiched the car underneath it when I backed out. It did a lot of damage. Luckily, nothing that it did was mechanical, which is great. However, there's some pretty expensive cosmetic components that it broke, so let's go through them. Obviously, the biggest one, the front bumper, completely split this piece of plastic right apart, which really sucks. As you can see in the picture, it only actually broke on one side, and then I had to rip this part off of the car, which nothing causes me greater pain than that. It was really tough, and I hated doing that. But actually, even more irritatingly to me is the damage that was done underneath. This is the belly pan for the front of the car. Basically, it's just here as an aerodynamic aid and to catch anything that leaks out of the bottom of the engine. And I broke it in a couple of places. You can see here, I snapped the fiberglass there, which is not great. And then you notice these little metal components. These are part of the driver's side brake duct, and those completely sheared off. So I have to replace that as well. In addition to that, I managed to crack the fender liner on this side. Now, for those of you who know your E39s, the lower fender liner is a part you don't want to break because they're crazy expensive. And well, yep, that is what I broke. So in addition to that, I have to replace the front bumper, the belly pan, the fender liner, and a brake duct. Definitely not cheap. Luckily, I have E39Source in my corner, and they've already written up an estimate, so let's go home and take a look at that. Okay, back at my house, I'm showered now after the gym, and we can talk about the estimate to take care of the M5. Now, I apologize for kind of how this is going to be scaled. It's going to be a little bit weird because I'm covering up some personal information, but let's dive in, and let's begin first by talking about the front bumper. So obviously the front bumper is the largest component that needs to be replaced. So the bumper cover itself cost $1,087, which is not exactly cheap. It's not as expensive as I was expecting. I seem to remember paying like $800 for a bumper the last time I replaced it, which was also due to an incident, but that's a whole other thing. And that was in 2017. I think it was like $800, I think, or something like that back then. So it doesn't feel like it's gone up all that much. We'll get into that a little bit more in a second. Ryan also put on here a bumper R&R. That's just like removal of the old one. This is what it will cost. But we're looking at lower grille. The grille on the very bottom of the car, I found one little section of it had been snapped. So unfortunately that needed to be replaced. Luckily that's not too expensive, $76, that's not crazy. The rubber gasket, so there are a couple different gaskets on this. There's one for the top of the bumper where the bumper is mounted below the headlights. There's one there, and then there is another gasket that's mounted a little bit lower down. So replacing both of those, that needed to be done. So rubber gasket is in there. That's not exactly cheap, $104. Ryan did give me a discount on this, which I certainly appreciate, but the total for just the bumper part of this replacement and associated hardware, $2,578.77. Now, Ryan has also factored in paint in here at about $800. So when you start thinking about all those things added together, it's like, it's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It could certainly be worse. Now we move on to talking about the belly pan. BMW plastics are so expensive, and it hurts every time I have to deal with them. So I can't say that it was not expected that these would be very expensive. So replacing the engine belly pan, the belly pan itself cost $627.29 for one piece of fiberglass in essence. So not great, but that's just kind of how much that costs. The brake duct channel, luckily we bought a used one from my friend Adam, who parts out E39 M5s in Maryland. That only cost me 108 bucks, so not too bad. And then comes the pork chop. Again, for those of you not in the E39 M5 community, we call it that because the lower part of the front fender liners looks a bit like a pork chop when it's installed on the car. And that part alone was $443.67. The entirety, for like with just a couple of extra pieces of hardware, brought that to $502.34. Yikes, that is a lot for what is ultimately just a hunk of plastic. And that brings the entire total to $3,894.50. That includes everything: paint, installation, disposal of the old stuff, all of that. So 3,900 bucks is what that little mistake cost me. That sucks. To be honest with you, it's almost enough where I would consider filing an insurance claim for it, but I want the car back sooner than an insurance company will be able to get everything done for me and go through their process. And I just switched insurance companies, so not a great time to file a claim, to be honest with you. And this could be worse. I definitely am not thrilled at this number, but it certainly could be worse than this. So now we're just gonna give it a couple days, wait for these parts to get in. Luckily, Ryan has moved very fast at E39Source to get this stuff put together. So realistically, it should be here in a couple of days. And when it is, we'll head up to E39Source to check out my parts hoard. Ugh, I hate looking at the front of the car, but we have arrived at E39 Mecca, E39Source, located here in Escondido, California. All of my parts have arrived, so let's head inside and take a gander at what all of this really expensive plastic looks like. All right, inside E39Source. So here is my stuff. So this is the belly pan, the lower belly pan that I snapped off. These are made of fiberglass, so they actually don't look that great from the factory. This thing is brand new, but you can see the casting date right there, July of 2003. That is, that's how long this thing has been sitting inside BMW headquarters. But beautiful, brand new plastic. Again, this is just how they look, brand new. And this is not the first one I've seen, that's just how they are. In addition to that, we have a new lower grille. This, I believe, was damaged in part, so again, we're just replacing that. It wasn't super expensive. Then we've got some fastening hardware. Here's the brake duct, the driver's side brake duct that was damaged. Those two tabs on the bottom, these are what I managed to snap off, so we've got that. New bumper gasket for the top and the bottom. There are two. And then this one, the fender liner. Again, this is just what brand new BMW plastic looks like. It just looks like this. I'll probably treat it with something to make it look even more black. But this is the famed pork chop, and it gets that nickname because this section down here looks kind of like a pork chop when it's sitting on the car. And the thing that's actively not here at the moment is the bumper, and that's because we put it in the car already. The unending practicality of the E39. The bumper itself was actually cast in 2023, which shows that BMW is paying some modicum of attention to its customers of helping to keep these cars on the road. But with all of that in mind, let's hop in the car, take the bumper over to the paint shop so that they can start painting this thing. We left E39Source and now we've come to European Coachworks located here in San Marcos. I've been looking for a great body shop for a long time. I've used a lot of body shops in San Diego and been disappointed many times, but I've been told this place is excellent. Let's take a look at the real stuff. Let's go look at the paint booth. Well, and here it is. I've been told this is the Rolls Royce of paint booths, if you will. This is about a $500,000 piece of equipment, but look at this. Like, I've never seen a paint booth look so nice. But in there you can see there's a car curing, and then they have a bunch of settings, which admittedly I have absolutely no idea exactly what they do or anything like that. But one of the things that I really like about them is once my bumper is painted, they're going to cure it. So effectively when it's finished, I can put ceramic coating on it and then it will be done, which is really nice. So yeah, this just kind of speaks to the kind of quality that I've come to expect. And then in here, this is where they store all of their paint. They have all of their Glazerite stuff off to the right and then more normal stuff in the middle. They are BMW, I think Mercedes-Benz, and about to finish their Porsche certifications. So it seems like quite a good place to have work on the old M5. Now, paint stuff admittedly is something I've been putting off on the M5 for a while. This obviously I have to do, as it's quite bad, but I have wanted to have the M5 painted for a long time. So this is kind of serving as a test for me to see how things come out, and from everything I've heard about the shop, they're great to work with, so we'll certainly see what the end product looks like in a couple of days. Their painter is out right now, so the car is going to get painted, or the bumper is going to get painted next week, and by the end of next week, beginning of the following one, we should have everything put back together again. But for now, I'm just gonna go drive the M5 and just be embarrassed about what I've done. And in the meantime, I think the bumper's in good hands, and well, I just can't wait to get it back. Fast forward about a week and we're back at E39Source. They're about to install the bumper, take off the old one, put all the new hardware on. But I am going to ceramic coat it first, hence why I'm wearing the gloves. I think that while it's off, it makes a lot of sense to do. So we're gonna go inside, ceramic coat the bumper, and then put it on. So we'll have one last look at the front of this thing, and then its face will be fixed. And here lies the new front bumper. Look at that fresh paint. It has a chin that's so nice. Now, this is a non-PDC US front bumper. The way you can tell is it is drilled for the cold weather package, which all US cars came with. However, there's no hole here for the PDC sensors. There's one here that works, but not this one. On the old bumper, there's a big cutout here, so we're gonna have to add that. But the other ones were going to take a lot longer to get here from Germany, and so we went with this option because I just can't stand the way the front of the car looks without a bumper that's has a chin. So we're gonna have to drill out those, which I'm sure will look great. But in the meantime, we're gonna ceramic coat this, but the paintwork is beautiful. You can see a nice metallic finish that looks just really lovely. So, all right, let's go ahead. We'll get this thing coated. It takes about an hour to cure after that. And then it can go back on the car with all the other associated hardware. And just like that, the E39 M5 has a face again. Oh, I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. Look at that. So of course, in addition to having everything done with it, we made sure to replace the face, obviously putting the bumper back on, new gaskets, all new hardware. They also made sure to put on the belly pans and all that stuff, but they also, Alan, the head tech here, treated everything so all the black plastic looks right again. Oh, it just looks so nice. And I can't tell you how happy that makes me. And look at the level of detail, like the fitment is just perfect. This is what a lot of people don't understand. They say, oh, use an aftermarket one. You don't get that kind of fitment. Look how tight that is, absolutely perfect. That's a factory size panel gap. And same thing on this side. Most of the aftermarket ones I see, they're kind of indented here. They don't like go all the way. They don't fit properly. OEM stuff fits properly. It looks right again. Oh, look at that. It just looks awesome. Now the paint match obviously is one of the things I was concerned with, and it looks very good. In person, it looks really nice. Now it may look a little bit lighter right now, but the car is dirty, so I'm gonna wash it, and then we'll take another look here in a couple of days at the paint match. But ceramic coating is all done on the bumper, so it's protected and ready to go. It needs a little bit of time to cure before I can wash it or anything like that, but oh man, I can't tell you how much better I feel seeing that car with its face back exactly where it belongs. I'm just so happy. A couple of weeks later, and here we are. The M5 looks magnificent. I've cleaned the car since and really looked at everything closely, and the paint match is phenomenal. I'm thrilled with the way the bumper looks, and I'm just so happy this car has a chin again. And the grand total, if we consult the Bible of M5 maintenance and low, it comes to pretty close to what we had originally thought, $3,910. Not exactly thrilling, but the whole point, the whole reason I wanted to make this video is that even if you are as careful as I am about this car and you really are diligent about how you use it, stuff just happens. If you're going to drive your cars, ultimately, you're gonna run into stuff like this that just kind of happens. Yes, it's a bit embarrassing, and my ego is bruised along with my wallet, but there's nothing that can't be fixed. It could have been a lot worse, and I'm trying to look at this in a very positive light. The front end of this car looks magnificent. Now in the upcoming videos, I'm going to do a little bit more lifestyle stuff. We have some trips that are coming up, some stuff that I've done in the past that I've been meaning to edit, so we're gonna get through all of that stuff coming up very soon. And I have some very big news coming in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go drive my M5 because that's all I ever really want to do. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon. Goodbye.